Have you ever felt that quiet ache, the kind that lingers long after a conversation ends, long after a presence is gone? That feeling when you realize someone didn't just leave, but they left a space behind, a space that no one else seems able to fill. Maybe you've been there, sitting alone in your room, scrolling through old messages, wondering why it all slipped away. Why someone who once seemed so certain suddenly isn't. There's a secret, something subtle, almost invisible, that the women who leave an imprint, the ones who leave men wishing they could turn back time, have always known. It's not about being perfect. It's not about playing games or being mysterious in the typical sense. It's something deeper, something that touches the very way people connect, emotionally, psychologically. And here's the truth. When a woman understands this, she commands a kind of power that isn't loud, isn't obvious, but it is profoundly unforgettable. Think about it. Have you ever watched a man chase after something he once took for granted? Have you seen regret slowly bloom in someone's eyes? Not anger, not bitterness, but that soft, heavy weight of realizing what he lost too late? That's what we're talking about. This is the quiet secret that men can't unsee once it's gone. And today, you're going to understand exactly why. It starts with understanding human nature. Men, like all of us, are wired to desire connection, to crave validation, to seek a sense of belonging. But what they often fail to recognize, what many only realize after it's gone, is that a woman who understands herself, who knows her worth, and who carries herself with quiet confidence, leaves an imprint that doesn't fade. She doesn't beg for attention. She doesn't demand it. She simply exists, and in that existence, she sets boundaries, maintains self-respect, and communicates love in a way that feels both safe and intoxicating. Maybe you've experienced it firsthand. You've been the woman who waited patiently for someone to notice the little things, your laughter, your honesty, your depth. Maybe you've given space when he needed it, but remained unshakable in your self-worth. And in that quiet dignity, you've left him wondering, what did I do wrong? Why didn't I see it sooner? That is the first layer of the secret, self-awareness combined with quiet strength. Now, let's peel this apart. When a man loses a woman like this, he experiences what psychologists call the void of realization. The very human tendency to notice value only when it's gone kicks in. Suddenly, the texts he ignored, the calls he postponed, the little gestures he brushed off, they become monumental in his mind. It's not just nostalgia, it's a psychological trigger. His brain starts replaying moments, the warmth of your presence, the way your voice made ordinary days feel extraordinary, the laughter that filled spaces he didn't even realize were empty. Maybe you've seen it happen in someone you know. He rereads old messages, scrolling back to the days when everything felt effortless. He remembers how you never demanded, how you simply gave love in a way that didn't suffocate, but nurtured. That balance, that combination of independence and affection, is what men regret losing most. Not the arguments, not the petty fights, not the days that were hard. They regret losing the calm certainty of a woman who knew herself and made him feel understood without him having to try too hard. Let me give you a story. Imagine a woman, let's call her Emma, who always kept her life in order. She pursued her passions, laughed with her friends, cried when she needed to, and never compromised her values for a man. And there was a man, let's call him Jason, who took her for granted. He assumed she would always be there because she never screamed, never begged, never forced him to see her worth. One day, she left, not in anger, but in quiet, resolute understanding that her energy was too precious to waste. And suddenly, Jason was alone with his regret. He noticed all the little things he hadn't appreciated, the way she remembered details about his life, the way she encouraged him when he doubted himself, the way she simply believed in him. That realization, it was crushing, and it's a pattern that repeats over and over. This leads us to the second layer of the secret, the power of subtlety. A woman who truly knows this secret doesn't manipulate or play mind games. She communicates clearly. She loves deeply, but she also knows when to step back. That stepping back is not withdrawal, it's revelation. It allows the man to see, often for the first time, the gravity of what he's lost. And humans, by nature, are creatures of reflection. When something we value disappears, we analyze, we remember, we idealize. And in that mental replay, the sense of regret grows. Maybe you've done this without even realizing it. You gave space when you felt it was necessary, knowing that love isn't about possession. You pursued your life with purpose, not out of spite, but out of self-respect. And in doing so, you became unforgettable. Because it's rare. Rare to find someone who doesn't cling. Rare to find someone who doesn't compromise their essence for attention. Rare to find someone whose love feels both free and safe. And here's the third layer, emotional memory. Men, like all of us, carry emotional imprints. The brain stores moments of connection not just as memories, but as emotional experiences. The woman who understands this secret leaves memories that aren't just about events. They're about feelings. How she made him feel alive, seen, understood, desired, safe. And when she leaves, he doesn't just lose her presence. He loses that feeling, that emotional resonance, that pulse of connection that can't be replicated by anyone else. Picture it. Jason sits in his apartment, a rainy Sunday afternoon, scrolling through photos of Emma. He sees her smile, remembers her laughter echoing in the kitchen, the way she tilted her head when she was curious, the soft firmness of her boundaries. And he feels it, that mix of longing, guilt, and regret that grows heavier with every passing day. He doesn't just miss her, he misses the version of himself that existed when she was there. That is the invisible weight of losing a woman who knows this secret. And let's not forget the subtle psychology of desire. When something is scarce, it becomes precious. When someone with intrinsic self-worth steps away, the mind is forced to confront its own negligence. Regret isn't just emotional, it's cognitive. It triggers a cascade of self-reflection. Why didn't I appreciate her? Why did I take her for granted? How could I let this happen? This is not a fleeting thought. It lingers, it gnaws, it reshapes the way he views future relationships. Now, layer this with storytelling again. Imagine a woman waiting for a call that doesn't come. She smiles through the day, knowing she's done all she could. She cherishes herself. Meanwhile, he's staring at the phone, every beep or vibration sending hope racing through him, only to be crushed by reality. He starts to understand that her love wasn't casual, wasn't dispensable, wasn't replaceable. He realizes the depth of what he lost, quietly, painfully, in the empty spaces she left behind. Here's another dimension, emotional intelligence. A woman who knows this secret understands people, not superficially, but deeply. She reads moods, understands patterns, senses needs before they are spoken. And when she leaves, she takes that rare emotional clarity with her. A man might try to replace it, to distract himself with someone new, but no one can replicate that combination of depth, empathy, and self-possession. He can only remember it, ache for it, and regret that he didn't nurture it when he had the chance. And so, the cycle of regret continues. He recalls moments of laughter that felt effortless, moments of understanding that felt instinctive, moments of connection that were tender, yet firm. And he starts to see patterns, his own mistakes, his own negligence. That's the fourth layer of the secret, the mirror effect. She becomes a mirror, not through confrontation, but through absence. He sees himself more clearly because she is no longer there to soften the reflection. And clarity can be painful. Maybe you've watched it happen around you. Men who chase after a woman too late, realizing that love isn't about persistence alone. It's about presence, empathy, and respect. He regrets the neglect, the ignorance, the casual dismissal of what was extraordinary. Because extraordinary women aren't loud or demanding. They are quietly unshakable. And once they walk away, the silence itself teaches a lesson too late. There's a poetic justice in this. Not revenge, not spite, but natural consequence. He experiences longing. He experiences reflection. He experiences regret. And it changes him, often subtly, sometimes profoundly. This is why men always regret losing the woman who knows this secret. She embodies a combination of presence, self-awareness, and emotional depth that cannot be replaced. And when she leaves, what's left is the echo of her essence and the weight of what he took for granted. And here's the final truth. This secret is not a trick or manipulation. It's self-possession. It's understanding your own value and living it fully. It's loving openly, honestly, and firmly while never compromising your core. A woman who knows this secret doesn't need to make him chase her. She simply exists, fully herself, and in doing so, leaves a mark that lingers long after she's gone. So if you're listening to this now, maybe you are that woman. Maybe you've given love quietly, strongly, patiently, and now you're wondering, does he see it? Does he know what he lost? Maybe he doesn't yet. Maybe that's his journey. But know this, your worth, your depth, your self-possession, they are undeniable. And when someone finally realizes what they had, it's too late. That realization, that quiet ache of regret, is powerful. It teaches them a truth they cannot forget. Sometimes, the most profound lessons come from absence, from silence, from the spaces left by those who knew themselves well enough to walk away. And the man who loses such a woman carries that lesson forever. If this touched you, share it. Someone else may need these words today. And don't forget, honoring yourself is never selfish. It is essential. Because in the end, the woman who knows her worth is unforgettable, unshakable, and unreplaceable. Bottom of form.